Well, good morning, friends. Well then, we have a few announcements. We have a birthday celebration here at the church on Thursday. I'm sure everyone knows who this is. Also, I'm very proud to announce that we'll be hosting the 3rd annual prayer-a-thon this year. Those of you who would like to be part of the event should contact Mary Martha at the office desk. We're also seeking a regular volunteer to care for the nursery at least on Sunday. This would greatly serve the ministry and its ability to reach out undisturbed to those in need during the services. And finally, our turnout last week for street witnessing was somewhat less impressive. We're going to give this another go this Friday night. Please pray about it. And if the Lord guides, meet us out in front of the coffee shop about 4 o'clock. If you'll turn in your Bibles to the 2nd chapter of James this morning. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save them? Suppose a brother or a sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, "Go in peace, keep warm and well fed," but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accomplished by action, is dead. Here, James is not saying that our salvation depends on our deeds, but rather that our deeds are an outward sign of our salvation, a test, if you will, that what we say is the guiding principle of our lives. It's actually what drives us. It is, after all, so easy for us to become entangled in the colorful things that the world has to offer, to be swept away by them and even consumed. Where does the lordship of our life really lie? If we call him Lord, doesn't that make him the boss?
Yeah, that was
Once,
great.
some of the religious leaders of his day asked Jesus, "What is the greatest of all God's commandments?" A question which should have had a great deal of impact even for us today. It should not only be of utmost importance that what our commander has said is the most important of our guidelines, but it should also relieve us to know that of all this book is summarized in the following statement. In Matthew 22, starting in verse 37, Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment, and the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these 2 commandments." It's amazing to me how often these simple principles of the kingdom are gummed up, complicated. In the hustle and bustle of our modern life, we just get easily swept up in what we see and hear. We get competitive. We see the mirror as more real than the supernatural and become mired in the vanity of the now. Well, that's a form of faithlessness, people. So much energy expended chasing our tails in the pursuit of earthly glory, when the Father is correcting us to aim our sights on things above. What's the best case scenario there, huh? What good is it for someone to gain the whole world and yet forfeit their soul? I know I'm no exception. I get to fishing and want to completely forget sometimes. The Lord is looking over my shoulder. You see, it's our hearts that He wants, our attention and our love. That's where the real battlefield is. And the enemy is constantly fighting for ground there. There's an old Native American saying that tells of two wolves that live within us all. One of them is selfless, courageous, the other one is selfish. If you want to know which one of them is stronger, it's the one that you feed. You can tell that your love belongs to something else when you find your mind drifting to it, even when you know His voice is calling. You know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not the only one here. But it's not only the fun and exciting things that get us through, is it? We're also demanded upon constantly by the needs of our flesh. I mean, we get hungry, right? Gotta pay the bills. But in the end, the Lord is not undecided about who chose Him over the things of this world. Later in chapter 25 of Matthew, Jesus continues, saying all the nations will be gathered before Him, and He will separate the people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on His right and the goats on His left. Then the King will say to those on His right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me." So where does that leave us? We all seek what is genuine. We all want to see the truth, and we all want to feel the real fruit of a real walk with a real God. We want to see that in each other. But that requires that we are to be the genuine ones. It takes being honest. It takes being honest with ourselves and taking inventory.
Great servant, Pastor.
Hey, glad you could make it.
Be glad to be here.
Hey, glad you could make it. Have a great day.
I'll be there.
All right, all right. All right, Friday night. Thank you for coming.
What time is that?
Friday at 4.
Okay, 4 o'clock.
Friday at 4.
We'll
yeah.
be there. Great,
Awesome.
Great job.
I can't wait.
Yes, Friday at 4. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Great sermon, Pastor. Great
Hey,
sermon.
thanks. All right.